Hi, I am now with David Ross, coordinator of a very good program here in Santa Barbara called Voad. David, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Viviana. Thank you.
David, could you explain us what Voad is and what's the mission of it?
Well, Voad stands for Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster. And its mission is to essentially reduce duplication of services throughout Santa Barbara County with all the different organizations that play some role during disasters, and to just coordinate and communicate more effectively so we can be better prepared for future disasters.
What is the structure of Voad? How does it operate?
Well, it's a little nebulous because many people think that it's like a nonprofit. It's actually not a nonprofit. It's not a 501c3. It's loosely called a convening mechanism. And it's a way for different nonprofits throughout the county that have to do something with disasters. So here in Santa Barbara County, we have a loose organization where different nonprofits who play some role, they'll just be typical members, and then we have an executive committee consisting of 7 members who are sort of meet every month and make sure that the wheels are rolling, and then we have meetings every other month for the general coordinating committee, which consists of about 30 different organizations here in Santa Barbara County.
Could you tell me more about those member organizations?
Yeah, sure. Well, some of the key players are, say, Salvation Army, the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County, Unity Shop here locally in Santa Barbara. They help with in-kind donations during disasters. Red Cross is of course a huge player because their mission is to work specifically in disasters. Catholic Charities, and there's many different kinds of organizations, but the one thread that they all have in common is that during disasters such as the T Fire or the Gap Fire here, they step up and they step forward in the community and try to help deliver services.
Now, I know you also coordinate subcommittees. Can you tell me more about those?
Yeah, well, because there's such a wide diversity of things that happen during disasters, we kind of broke it down into some 7 main areas. And of those, we have an Animal Services Committee, an Emergency Communications Committee, and that's consisting of some organizations that are helping distribute satellite phones to the different organizations. There's an In-Kind Donations Committee consisting of the thrift stores in town. We have a Food Distribution and Food Preparation Committee, and that's sort of like a key component of Voad, or it typifies it, because the purpose there is to make sure that 2 charities or 2 churches aren't making the same meals for the same people. And another subcommittee is the Long-Term Recovery Committee, and this has been the most active part of Voad lately because we've been dealing specifically with the funds that were raised by the T-Fire Relief Fund to help distribute that money back to those people who lost their homes during the T-Fire, and particularly those who were either uninsured renters or underinsured homeowners.
And can individuals also volunteer, or is it only for organizations?
Absolutely. A big part of disasters is, of course, that people from the community want to come out and help, which is fantastic. One program that we're developing is called the Spontaneous Volunteer Center. And in the future, during major disasters, the T-Fire being relatively small, this type of a spontaneous volunteer center is going to form. It's going to be a physical location where anyone from the community, regardless of their background or skill level, can come and basically offer their services. And there they'll get registered and trained and processed and figure out what tasks or what volunteer opportunities would be best for them. And then the different Voad organizations would put in requests for volunteers to this volunteer center. Some great examples are the Food Bank knew that we were going to have to make lots of more meals to deliver to the areas that were affected and to deliver to the Red Cross shelters. So the Food Bank was delivering food to Salvation Army, who was cooking the meals, and then Salvation Army gave the meals to the Red Cross, and the Red Cross fed the meals to the folks that were in the shelter, and they also handing them out to people who are surveying their damage, who the last thing they need to think about is how they're going to find lunch.
And finally, which are some of the challenges that you confront by dealing with disaster situations?
One of the challenges of Voad itself is that I think people from the community aren't quite so familiar with it because it's not an organization, it doesn't fit into any good category. So initially some membership issues were our main challenges, but some of the major issues that we found were, of course, communication is a big one. And you know, luckily during the T-fire, we still had our cell phones and we had landlines, and for the most part, throughout the county, we still had power. And so, you know, one of the potential challenges is communications during, say, a major earthquake. How will the food bank know to get food to Salvation Army if the food bank is in, you know, in Goleta? Salvation Army is down in the east side, and they can't communicate because there's no means to communicate. So one of the things that we put in the grant was to get satellite phones, so that we could have satellite phones for the leads of the different committees, so that they can be talking to each other to make sure that, you know, there will be service delivery even during the worst of disasters where all phone lines are gone. But basically right now people, I think, see the value of it, and after the T-fire, these different organizations really started seeing how Voad can be really useful in their communities.
If people would like to have more information, they should contact you directly? Do you have a phone line?
Yeah,
or?
you can contact me directly. My number is here at the Red Cross, which is where I'm based, is at 805-687-1331, extension 129.
Well, thank you, David, for all that information. And again, you can volunteer or, you know, bring your organization over and they will take good care of it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
For more information on the Nonprofit Spotlight, check our website at www.sbchannels.tv or call 963-3893. If you'd like your nonprofit featured in a future Nonprofit Spotlight, contact us at the information on your screen.